Gentlemen, the Irrigation Conference in Oamaru, how did it go?
Very well, yeah. It's irrigation is coming of age, I think, in recognition of the things that are being promoted in terms of efficiencies and responsible water use.
Efficiency would have been one of the highlights?
Oh, absolutely, and we were very lucky to have an opportunity to talk pre-conference to a number of people about some of those things. I mean, obviously, we want the water to go as far as we possibly can as a society and as a country. And some of the things that are occurring in a lot of these areas are very, very good at creating those efficiencies.
Tony, we automatically think about big centre pivots, but that's not necessarily the case.
No, I mean, I think we've been promoting the GSET now for some time and learning quite a lot. And we have in the GSET irrigation the ultimate variable rate irrigation system, and very suitable for terrain that pivot is not so suitable for. So the focus on efficiencies has led us down a path where on what would have been traditionally land that you wouldn't consider for irrigation, we're now getting excellent results.
Phil, is this because the schemes have been expanding?
Yeah, actually, and especially around Oamaru where the conference was held, you have the Hunter Downs, which has been extended, and you have the North Otago Irrigation NOIC scheme also being extended considerable distances and huge amounts of land that's actually becoming irrigable. But a lot of that land, when you look at the topography, is challenging at best, difficult at worst, and obviously it requires specific solutions to actually get the right outcome on.
And Tony, centre pivots really don't go up hills very well, do they?
No, particularly the steeper stuff. It depends on whether you're a centre pivot salesman or not, of course. But it's very tough on anything mechanical, climbing up and down and variable angles, and but a lot of the land that we're now fully irrigating, you cannot ride a four-wheeler on it, let alone a centre pivot.
How do you stop runoff?
By putting on very small amounts of water that the plant is capable of grabbing, basically.
Phil, that means some pretty clever designs?
Yeah, it does. It means that in fact we've got to select the right sprinkler. So we're organising the layout such that we're getting as much coverage as we are able without going wild on too many sprinklers per hectare. So it's a real challenge. We're trying to trade off that coverage against capital cost, because we know that from a farming sense, you know, we're trying to get the best outcome. So we're applying a small amount of application depth. We're doing it in lots of cases on a single day return. So an entire property we will fully irrigate in one day. That means that we can apply irrigation to deficit. Now what that practically means is that when a rainfall event occurs, we're actually allowing the capability of the soil to absorb that moisture. Now in the past what would have happened is that everybody would irrigate to field capacity. So the soil's topped up, it's full, so the rain event actually just runs off as runoff. And those are the things that we're trying to avoid with a lot of the solid set systems that are going in now.
Now, talking about four-wheel access and things, what sort of problems does that cause when it comes to installation?
It's always a challenge, and the steeper it gets, the more challenging it gets. In some respects, yeah, the more careful you need to be. But luckily, for the type of equipment that's being used on the installation, it's designed to handle these conditions. So it doesn't appear to be too much of a problem, albeit it takes a little bit longer if it's not easily driven over country. But it all comes down to the design and layout and preparation.
I guess water doesn't go uphill very well, so getting the actual water to the G-sets?
Absolutely. And really, every lift that you have to do of the water is going to cost you more running cost. You're going to have to pump those systems uphill. We are careful about what we select in terms of the sprinkler, so that in fact we're trying to minimise the amount of pressure that they need to operate. And we believe that the sprinkler selection that we've got in GSET is probably really at the best of what's available. Being a plastic sprinkler, it actually operates at a much lower pressure as compared to brass or aluminium, which have much higher head requirements. So we're minimising that as we go. But it doesn't really matter what irrigation system you choose, you're still going to have to lift it. It's just a matter of how far.
And Tony, finally, I guess it really does come down to the design.
Yeah, I mean, all of the gains and benefits are made prior to installation, and getting the design right, getting the layout right, and then ensuring that the installation meets the requirement. We've learnt that there's not one thing you can rely on to get the right result. We need a combination of technology such as GPS and a little bit of common sense. 40 metres between two given points might not be 40 metres, so it's important that people are capable of making those assessments at the time of installation to meet the desired design.
And Phil, it is very exciting, isn't it? Because now it seems as though there's no land that can't go under irrigation.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, we are poised, waiting for this. I mean, we've put a lot of effort into creating, first of all, control systems to actually look after it, and we've done a lot of design work. No, I'm really looking forward to this season. I think it's exciting.